Philo.
Good evening and welcome. On the news tonight, President Bola Tinubu applauds efforts of security forces in the fight against insurgency. Federal High Court acquits former Lagos Assembly Speaker Adeyemi Kuforiji of 54 counts of money laundering. Lagos State government records drastic reduction in cholera outbreak. And on the international scene, fire at Moscow office building leaves 8 persons dead. We'll bring you details in a moment. Please stay with us. And now the details. I am Adetola Kayode. President Bola Tinubu says the efforts of security forces in the fight against insecurity in the Northwest are yielding results, disrupting and dismantling criminal networks. The president stated this at the Northwest Peace and Security Summit organized by the Northwest Governors Forum in Katsina. Represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, Tinubu assured Nigerians that the progress made so far is just the beginning as the government is making more efforts to providing a better, secure environment for all citizens, saying the military forces through various operations such as Operation Hardin Kai and Operation Safe Haven have made true their promise to the nation by targeting Boko Haram and bandits who have held for too long. The president dismissed insinuations that insecurity in the Northwest is a sectional agenda, arguing that whatever affects any part of the nation destabilizes the other. It says the administration's promise of securing Nigeria remains its priority since assuming office over a year ago. Shettima said the strategies employed by the government in fighting insecurity in the Northwest have begun to provide redemption, adding that there will be no slowdown until the achieved. The president added that the government is coordinating joint training exercises, interagency cooperation, communication, and information sharing among security agencies. The governor of Katsina State and chairman of the Northwest Governors Forum, Dikko Rade, has harped on the need to employ the use of community intelligence and the fight against banditry in the Northwest region. Governor Rade, while addressing the audience during the Northwest Peace and Security Summit organized by the Northwest Governors Forum at the Government House in Katsina, said community intelligence is one of the most efficient communication strategies to ensure timely response to security threats in the region. He explained that insecurity is always a concern, urging all to protect the region. Social development. The governors are also working towards the development of agriculture and power supply in the region. The summit is themed regional cooperation for securing lives and livelihood. And moving on, the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has discharged and acquitted a former Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Adeyemi Ikuforiji, of 54 counts of money laundering charges. Justice Mohammed Liman held that the prosecution was to discharge the burden of proof provisions of the law. Ikuforiji was charged by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, alongside Atoyebi on a 54-count charge bordering on alleged 338.8 million naira money laundering. They had each pleaded not guilty and were allowed to continue on an earlier bail granted to them in 2012 when they were first arraigned. On March 17, 2021, the EFCC closed its case after calling the second witness for prosecution. The prosecution called a total of 2 witnesses in support of its case. Meanwhile, Justice Liman was later transferred out of the Lagos division, and the case suffered several setbacks. On May 4, 2023, Defense Counsel Dele Adesina had opened the case for the defense. And the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory has discharged the senator representing Bayelsa Central Senatorial District, Benson Kombowe, charged with certificate forgery. Kombowe of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, was arraigned before the court on March 26, 2024 on 3 counts charge in which he was accused of forging an exemption certificate of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC. Justice Christopher Oba discharged Kombowe and struck out the charge shortly after the prosecuting lawyer, Ruben Iguaba, applied to discontinue the prosecution. Iguaba told to the court that the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, who earlier issued him a fiat to prosecute the case, has withdrawn the fiat and directed him to withdraw the charge. Iguaba consequently applied to withdraw the charge, and application defense lawyer Chris Uche did not oppose. Justice Oba, who elected to strike out the charge, however, rejected Uche's application that the charge be dismissed. The Kano State Police Command has deployed more armed personnel to the 2 palaces housing the contending emirs of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II and Ado Bayero. The outgoing Commissioner of Police and Assistant Inspector General of Police in the state, Hussein Gume, who confirmed the deployment, explained that this was to ensure adequate security and foster peaceful coexistence within the state. The police commissioner appealed to residents to support police efforts by providing information that could aid in maintaining peace and stability in the state. He reassured the public of the command's dedication to ensuring the safety and security of all residents, enabling them to pursue their legitimate activities without threats to lives and property. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has activated its Emergency Operations Centers, EOCs, as the death toll in the recent outbreak of cholera reached 53 nationwide. Speaking at the press briefing in Abuja, NCDC Director General Jide Idris said 1,528 suspected cases and 53 deaths have been recorded across 71 states and 107 local government areas as of June 24. The Director General noted that the decision to activate the cholera EOCs underscores the gravity of the situation and unwavering commitment to protecting the health and well-being of every Nigerian. Dr. Idris said the EOCs will serve as the nerve center for the coordination of response across the country. It will also support affected states, facilitate rapid communication, data analysis, and decision-making processes, mobilize resources, expertise, and support from across the NCDC, partners, and stakeholders at all levels of government. He said the fatalities are not just statistics, but a significant loss of a loved family member, spouse, parent, and often a seasoned healthcare worker and a team member. Idris said the situation will be compounded as the rainy season intensifies. He added that in response to the rapidly increasing cholera cases, a risk assessment was conducted by experts on this situation last week. Cholera is a food and waterborne disease caused by the ingestion of the organism Vibrio cholerae in contaminated water and food. In the meantime, the Lagos State government says cases of cholera in the state have drastically reduced. Commissioner for Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, gave the situation update at a press briefing. Correspondent Suad Anyila was there and she filed in this report.
In spite of the recent outbreak of cholera, the Lagos State government has been able to curb the cases of the outbreak from further spreading across the state. Commissioner for Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, reels out measures and methods on how the cases were managed.
We had a slight increase around the 18th, 19th, and 20th, 21st, but as of the 22nd, the numbers have started to come down. And as yesterday, we had, I think, just 1 or 2 cases reported. We're yet to clean up the data from yesterday. But the general trend is that the numbers have significantly reduced, and we're not seeing the numbers of cases as we did before.
He emphasizes the need to visit the hospital as soon as symptoms are being noticed.
Liquid beverages are produced in a batch, and once the batch is produced, it is distributed and consumed. So when we go back to a particular location where they are manufacturing street beverages, we may not find anything at all because the batch that was contaminated has been completely distributed. We obviously will pay attention to the source of water that those manufacturers are using, and that is what we're doing at the moment. We're trying to identify as many of these street manufacturers. First of all, we're trying to emphasize the fact that if you're going to manufacture anything for public consumption, you must be registered with NAFDAC. So that will immediately put a very high level of regulation over the manufacture of street beverages.
It's kind of like global. It's not just us, it's the rainy season, it's the climate change, it's everything. And Lagos City is doing everything possible. We've got the right people in the right places, working day and night over the weekend, going to the marketplaces, going to churches, going to mosques, going to, obviously, schools, inspecting, checking, sampling, doing all sorts of things just to keep us safe.
Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education, Jamiu Ali Balogun, says precautionary measures have been taken in public schools across the state.
We also provide the ORT solution in virtually all our schools, and we give them information on the hotline to call if there's for emergency.
It is also worthy of note that all state health facilities are alerted and fully equipped to render free quality healthcare services to residents in case of any outbreak.
The Ogun State government has confirmed 25 cases of cholera in 7 local government areas of the state, with 1 casualty in Ijebu North local government in the Ogun East Senatorial District of the state. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Tomi Coker, during a press briefing at the Olusegun Oshoba Press Center in the state capital, says free surveillance and emergency treatment have been activated in all 20 local government areas of the state. She identified Abeokuta South, Abeokuta North, Obafemi Owode, Ijebu North, Ado-Ota local government areas as the most hit by the disease. While assuring the general public of the preparedness of the state government and its development partners, she however asked residents to maintain a high level of personal and public hygiene to contain the spread of the disease. The Lagos State government has given 48 hours notice to owners of buildings and drainage alignment at System 63B, Shangotedo. Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, at an inspection tour says the state government remains resolute in its quest to making Lagos flood-free. Bukola Taylor-Cole reports.
It is another round of inspection, and this time the Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, and his team are inspecting a collapsed drainage system at Aladilola Street, Ikusi-Ketu.
We're told some of these guys that come around to cut away iron metals came around the place some days ago. They caught him under the culvert, cutting some of the iron the reinforcement. So apparently that caused that collapse. And we've asked the Public Works Department of the state to condone it off while we quickly find a way to fix it.
From there, the team inspected Victory State Water Collector, Agop Halas Way, where they discovered several environmental infractions.
Unscrupulous individuals that are taking the laws into their hands, block water paths, blocked canals to sell the land, to fill and sell. We had sent in the team earlier in the week. We just keep to see the level of enforcement carried out.
The good thing about Lagos State is that they have projections. They foresaw the future. Whatever they're doing is for future. So their plan is almost 50 years or 100 years plan, and they're following it up no matter who is there. So that is one good thing about it.
At Shangotedo, the natural water channel which discharges into System 63 and from there to Omu Creek was found blocked by several illegal structures. This, the state government says, will not be tolerated.
We've served them the notices to abate and remove, and by tomorrow they will serve them the notice to enforce.
Other water collectors inspected are Ilabere Collector at Old Ikoyi and Ajiran Primary Channel, Chevron Drive, Lekki. The commissioner also apologized for the wrong marking of some buildings at Old Ikoyi.
We've had this perennial issue with Ajiran, and then we're doing the regional road. We've awarded the contract. We just want to see how far they've gone with cleaning that channel, and then also be sure that the culvert that they're going to remove will be properly done. They are precasting it, and in the next 2-3 weeks they should start putting them in place so the water can move freely into the Lagos Lagoon. People that are not having contravention, their property to be marked, and we say they should remove those markings immediately so we don't put people under apprehension or fear needlessly. And I'm really very sorry for that act.
While assuring that the state government is working assiduously to provide about 100 public toilets, the commissioner implored residents to imbibe environmentally friendly habits to prevent outbreaks of diseases such as cholera, as well as put an end to the menace of flooding in the state. Bukola Taylor-Cole, LTV News.
You're still watching the news on Lagos Television. Still ahead. Suburban British Council trains 2,000 teachers on English proficiency. That's in a moment. Please stay with us.
Dear Lagosians, we are taking a stand for our city's health and future. The Lagos State government has banned styrofoam food containers to shield our environment and your well-being. Why? Because styrofoam made of polystyrene is linked to severe health risks like cancer, Parkinson's disease, and hearing loss. But the danger doesn't stop there. It is also non-biodegradable, meaning it will remain the same for the next 500 years, leading to clogged drains and increased flooding. Our oceans are also at risk. It harms marine life, disrupting the delicate balance of our ecosystem. Please, let us embrace the usage of only reusable plastic containers henceforth. If you are found using, selling, or distributing styrofoam food containers, these items will be confiscated and you will be prosecuted. Let's choose a safer path with reusable plastics. It's up to us to ensure a vibrant, healthier, and cleaner Lagos for generations to come. Enough is enough. Join the movement.
Thanks for staying tuned. The chairman Global Transport Policy, Oluwasegun Musa, says traffic control officers need to apply corrective measures that rather than punitive whenever a first-time traffic offender is apprehended. Musa reinforced this measure at a one-day Train the Trainer workshop for area traffic officers with the theme Improving Traffic Policing, Leveraging on Emotional Intelligence Skills. Maugbe Josu tells us more.
Lagos, a sprawling city with sporadic growth in all sectors, needs an effective traffic system. According to experts, if traffic-related issues are not properly handled by 2030, the state will be losing about $21 billion monthly. This explains why a training academy, Global Transport Policy, is training area traffic officers on principles of emotional intelligence, its relevance to traffic management, and managing stress and emotions effectively.
Trainings like this, such as this, will help bring to their knowledge things they should do or they ought to do. For you to follow one way, it's an offense. You must bring in humanity into it. If the person is genuinely not conversant with the road, you direct. But if the person did it flagrantly to disobey the law, you charge such a person to court.
They must act as human first. When you act as human, you know, just like in every civilized country, officers will call your attention to your errors the first time you default. The second time, punitive measure will start. The third time is going to be more than the first one. So it should be a gradual process. There must be a corrective stage before punitive stage.
Chairman of the Academy, Oluwasegun Musa, says the organization will always engage heads of agencies related to traffic issues to discuss some gaps discovered in order to reduce travel time of road users.
After police, next month, we are starting with 3 security agencies. We are looking at LASMA, Federal Road Safety, Civil Defense, and the DSS, Director of State Security. Those 4 groups, we are training them next month. In August, we are training the Navy, the Air Force, and the Army. And we're also looking at other actors that we're also bringing on board for training, because we just have to put everybody on the same page to align to international best practices.
Some of the participants shared their views on the training.
Emotional intelligence is actually the key to every traffic officer on the road. If we really understand our emotions, then it is possible and better for us to understand the emotions of others, so that we'll be able to perform our duties effectively on the road.
Dealing with public is not an easy thing, it's not an easy task, but we need this emotional intelligence to be imbibed on those policemen on the road, to be able to manage people, manage human beings psychologically, and all that.
With this training, area traffic officers are expected to train divisional traffic officers in the states. Maugbe Josu, LTV News.
And the Lagos State government has reiterated its commitment to ensuring the delivery of quality basic education to aspiring learners. This is coming at the opening ceremony of a 4-day training for public primary school teachers by the Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board. We have details in Jamiu Shinobi's report.
It is the opening ceremony of the training of 2,000 public primary school teachers in Lagos State. The initiative, organized by Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board in collaboration with the British Council, aims at equipping teachers with necessary tools and skills.
It's imperative that our teachers are able to communicate proficiently in the English language in order to provide learners with competitive edge among their counterparts across the globe.
It is important to underscore that effective use of English language is critical. You cannot, be a global citizen if you do not have strong foundation of a language like English language. We have adopted it as our language of governance. It's also our language of commerce and our language of instruction. So it is absolutely necessary that we use it effectively.
Everything has to do with the assessment of teachers' needs vis-a-vis the pupils that they are teaching in the classroom. And once in a while, we assess the performance of our teachers in the classroom, and then if there is need for us to make use of capacity building so that they can gain more in whatever they required in the teaching learning process.
It's very important for us to grow the pupils by focusing more on literacy and numeracy. If the foundational ability of the pupils in literacy and numeracy are sound, they will be able to do well in the educational sector. That's why, in partnership with British Council, Lagos Suburb was able to work together with British Council to come up with the STEP program, which is strengthening teachers' education, English proficiency.
Some teachers are excited about the initiative, noting that the skills and knowledge gained will significantly boost their teaching capabilities. This, in turn, is expected to make a substantial impact on the primary education system in Lagos State, ensuring that the students receive higher standard of education.
We really appreciate the Lagos State government for this initiative, and I think it will help a lot in primary school setting.
This is a very commendable initiative because it's going to strengthen the English language proficiency of all teachers. It will enable teachers to be able to communicate well with the pupils in class, to convey teaching and lesson plans to pupils. Also, it is also a way to increase the technology aspect of teaching for teachers. It will go a long way.
I so much believe in our teachers in Lagos State. They are very proactive, they are willing to learn, and they are also willing to put it into practice. If you compare Lagos State at that level with any other state, you can see the big difference. And that is the secret, that is our magic.
Focus on the training materials, training system, and also do a follow-up. It's one thing to just be part of a training session. It's another thing to also pay much attention in following up and also implementation and executing that program. So I want to urge them to pay keen attention, pay attention to detail, and cooperate with the facilitators and the trainers so that we can have a very successful program.
By investing in the professional development of teachers, the state aims to create a nurturing and effective learning environment for all primary school students, which symbolizes the unwavering commitment of the administration of Babajide Sanwo-Olu in enhancing basic educational standards.
And to this one, former council chairman of 21 out of the 23 local government areas in Rivers State have staged a protest at their various council areas. In Buguma Council area, headquarters of the Asari Toru local government area, former chairman Onegie Yofori George, alongside his supporters, marched through the streets of the town as they sang songs in solidarity with the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. They carried placards with inscriptions asking the police to continue occupying the council headquarters. The pro-Wike former local government bosses protested in their local councils despite an advisory against protests issued by the Rivers State Police Command. At Asari Toru local government area, the protest almost turned violent when some men believed to be operatives of Asari Dokubo's private military company, also known as Amama soldiers, attempted to attack the protesters. The Amama soldiers were, however, restrained by policemen. The demonstrators later presented a protest letter to the police. And the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, is committed to giving technical support to providing necessary data to fast-track proper planning and census conduct. This formed a major part of the discourse during the visit of the National Population Commission Federal Commissioner in Lagos to UNICEF. We have details in Omololuro Sanwo's report.
Data gathering and statistics are key factors to planning in a society, and Nigeria is long overdue for another census to actually determine its population. This may well explain the visit of the Federal Commissioner of the National Population Commission, NPC, in Lagos to the United Nations Children Emergency Fund, UNICEF, country representative.
No functional, accountable or responsible government agency can fulfill the requirements of the law without proper coverage, personnel and total equipment. The voter registration system is the most important daily activity of the Commission, and it is designed to operate on a continuous registration of births, deaths and other vital events such as marriages, divorces, etc.
Because we need to be working hand in hand to ensure that in Lagos we have 0 children that are not registered. We need to have 0 children. I know this is your ambition. This is mine as well, and I hope this is everybody's in the room. If Lagos makes it in 2024, 2025, the whole of Nigeria will be supported, inspired, and carried away. But it's not just the whole of Nigeria.
Since the creation of NPC in 1988, only 142 registration centers have so far been created in Lagos, and it is a far cry from the reality of 320 primary health centers currently spread across Lagos State.
What I want to propose to you is that we do this in Lagos so that we, and eradicate is not the right word, but we tackle and we register every single child that is unregistered for the moment. And that I can provide you with, I can already say we can do this, we can design this, we can do this before the end of the year, and we can reach our targets and go beyond.
And I assure you that the Minister will not be a problem. I also want to thank you so much for believing in us, first of all as a state, and indeed as a country, because your intervention is priceless. Your plans are very laudable, and I want to say to you that we appreciate you now, and we continue to appreciate you. Like you said, identity. If I came in now and I can't see my name is this. Exactly. And then you say, Madam, don't exist. What's your name? Or even if you look at the register of anything, driver's license, anything in this world, and my name doesn't feature, then I'm not existing.
The visit to UNICEF is a step in the right direction, as both organizations are on the same page to ensuring better service delivery to humanity, with particular reference to Nigeria. Omololuro Sanwo, LTV News.
And still to come in the news. 100% SIM cards used in Nigeria are produced locally. That's the business news. Please stay with us.
On Business News tonight, the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, has stated that 100% of SIM cards used in Nigeria are produced locally. The NCC added that prior to the present, most SIM cards used in Nigeria were imported. But when Nordit started in Nigeria, it was made extremely easy that in 5 to 6 months, SIM cards were being manufactured locally. All mobile network operators were directed to source their SIM cards locally, and that was effective. As at now, 100% of the SIM cards used in Nigeria are manufactured locally, no more importation. NCC concluded that if the industry must succeed, there must be proper enlightenment and education. The Central Bank of Nigeria says consumer credit jumped by 12% to approximately 3.9 billion naira in January 2024, as Nigerians resorted to loans as one of the survival strategies following heightened inflation. According to the Apex Bank's latest economic report, the total consumer credit outstanding increased to 3.823 billion naira in January 2024. The report further explained that a disaggregation of consumer credits revealed that personal loans increased by 14.3% to 3.028 billion naira from 2.649 billion naira in December 2023. Retail loans rose by 4% to 795 billion naira, as personal loans accounted for 79% of consumer credit, while retail loans accounted for 21%. Consumer credit as a share of total credit from online data capture systems, however, declined to about 7% from 8% in the preceding month. The National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, says the inflation rate hit 33.95% in May, forcing the Apex Bank to hike the interest rate consecutively to 26.25%. The rise in inflation has seen Nigerians grappling with the effect of the worst economic crisis as the cost of living escalates. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPC Limited, has disclosed that the Obeafu-Obricom-Oben OB3 gas pipeline will be completed by August 2024. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Ekperikpe Ekpo, expressed his satisfaction with the pace of work at the OB3 River Niger crossing operation, describing it as the renewed hope at work. Meanwhile, the NNPCL Group MD, Melekiyari, described the project as a monumental value to Nigeria, adding that it will see about 2.2 billion standard cubic feet of gas coming into the network. And that's all on business news. Up next are today's figures on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange.
Nigerian pugilists were the cynosure of all eyes following the display of grit at the maiden Yucateco Pan-African Boxing Championship held over the weekend in Lomé, Togo. The boxers, under the auspices of Yucateco Boxing Promotions, won 9 of the 12 belts on the fight card, highlighting the country's rich talents, especially at the amateur level. First to open the floodgate of victory for Nigeria was Michael Oguremi, who defeated Okoro Pierre of Benin Republic 2-1 in the 57-kilogram class.
I'm not disappointed with our performance because this is the first time I'm facing the guy, so it really changed the way. But I'm going to face him next time, and next time I'm going to try better.
My weight category, we saw this fight. You know that I'm not doing better. But I heard from the guy that he was going to challenge me back. Like, I'm getting ready for him.
It was a clean sweep in the second bout as Kwam Musefiu got the better of Pedanu Lucien of Togo with a 3-0 victory in their 60-kilogram fight. In the 63-kilogram bout, Yucateco Boxing League most valuable boxer Abdurrahman Abdulwahab made a light work of Benin Republic Glelele Adonai as he secured a 3-0 victory, while Real One Salau followed the steps of his compatriot as he decimated Edo Stefano of Togo 3-0 in the 57-kilogram class. In the female bout of the night, YBL women's champion Ayomide Mayowa showed her brilliant fighting skills as she narrowly grabbed a 2-1 win against Zunon Teitana of Benin Republic in their 48-kilogram fight. The second female bout saw Benin's Paulina Asogba triumph over Nigeria's Aino Adekinwosa 2-1 in the 57 kilograms. Also in the female category, Omolayo Adaramola secured a 3-0 victory against Aunat Gino Sara of Benin Republic in the 63 kilograms, dominating the bout from start to finish. It wasn't to be for Nigeria in the men's 69 kilogram as Togo's national champion Kofi Kudeha outpunched Mustafa Nasiru to record a unanimous decision victory, sending home fans into wild celebration at the Omini Sports Stadium in Lome.
I'm dedicating this victory to my daddy. I lost him 2 years ago. My brother here made me remember my dad, and I was emotional about it. But at the end of the day, I still made my dad proud, and I made Togolese proud.
In other results, Togo's Apollinaire secured a 2-1 victory against Nigeria's Jade Joshua in the men's 57 kilogram class, while Stephen Ochoche secured a 3-0 win against Ekagnon Giovanni of Benin in their 80 kilogram bout.
I pick up a challenge of being a boxer. So whenever I step into the ring, I always want to win. So it's something very huge for me because this is what my dad did, and I don't think he ended it well. But I want to end it well. So whenever I win, I mean my father has not done up to this. So I always want to win.
Initiator of the Pan-African Boxing Championship, Omonle Yakub Imadu, said exposing amateur boxers from participating countries will not only develop the sports, but also raise athletes that will make the continent proud at the Los Angeles 2028 Olympic Games in the U.S. Imadu revealed that more African countries have indicated their interest to be part of the championship, adding that winners from this month's event will be out to defend their belts in subsequent editions.
This great talent that we've just discovered in the country of Benin and the country of Togo, they perform beyond my expectations. I was actually thinking they are not going to be a match to the Nigerian boxers, but they came out with a wonderful fight. That shows that there are so many talent out in the continent of Africa that are still yet to be given the opportunities to grow their talents.
While commending the host of the inaugural event, Imadu said the host, Togo, showed readiness to develop amateur boxing in the country with sincerity of purpose as he pledged further support to the Boxing Federation of Togo.
They know what they want, they were steadfast, they saw the importance and the potentials in this. So they shown their personal interest, they shown the gains, and they uphold it. And look at what happens today. Development of their boxers at the grassroots level is their priority.
At the end of the bouts, winners in each weight categories received prize money and other incentives. In appreciation of his commitment to develop boxing through various initiatives, Imadu was presented with an award by the Boxing Federation of Togo.
On entertainment news tonight, known as one of the most distinctive voices in Nigerian music, Chike has won the hearts of listeners with his captivating brand of music that embraces R&B, funk, black, and Igbo indigenous influences. Ahead of the release of his third album, Son of Chike, the music star has released a new thought-provoking single titled Man Not God. Man Not God is a soul-stirring funk ballad that resonates with timeless wisdom and profound introspection. This single draws inspiration from the legendary Celestian Uku's classic Ife Sinachi. The melody, enriched by Chike's soulful vocals, creates an intimate atmosphere that invites listeners to deeply reflect on their journeys and their divine influences in their lives. The rich acoustic instrumentation and heartfelt delivery makes Man Not God a powerful anthem of humanity and faith. Through this, Chike pays homage to the past while forging a path forward, reminding us of the grace of embracing our humanity and recognizing the ultimate sovereignty of God's will.
Make we pause, na him be caught, na himself be judge. Can never change, no matter what you. If you know.
Nigerian international sensation Victony has released his highly anticipated debut album titled Stubborn. The album is a lyrical representation of Victony's resilient return to music. Following the 3rd anniversary of the near-fatal accident that claimed the life of his best friend and required Victony to undergo extensive surgery and rehab to relearn how to work. Talking about the album, Victony says the meaning of stubborn goes beyond what the title implies. This album is a Nigerian superstar Rema has become the first African artist to record over 1 billion streams from a song in the United States. Rema's Calm Down has over 1 billion streams, won awards, and topped multiple charts, thus making it the biggest African export yet. The remix would become a Nigerian superstar David Adeleke, popularly known as Davido, has shared pre-wedding photos with his partner Chioma Roland ahead of their wedding on Tuesday. The Afrobeat star shared the pictures on his Instagram account with the hashtag #Chivido2024. Davido had last week Tuesday confirmed his upcoming wedding to his partner Chioma Roland.
Muri, Oshiji Bagba, 3,000.
Muri and Co. with Kunle Remy leads Nollywood films at the box office. The Nollywood film Muri and Co. went from being on the 6th to the 2nd spot at the Nigerian box office, grossing a total of 50.1 million. Muri and Co. follows the story of a thief named Muri who steals a car and discovers later that a child is in the car, despite the 10 million bounty on his head, and also trying to evade the police for kidnapping the child. He and the young star grew closer. With a weekly total of 41.5 million, the Nollywood movie Muri and Co. has surpassed Fumilayo Razom Kuti, the top grossing Nollywood at the box office, for 3 weeks in a row. And that's all on entertainment news. Back to the studios for the rest of the news.
Don't rope me.
And to this sad one outside Nigeria, we're here at least 8 people have died in a large office building fire near Moscow. Emergency officials say just one person was rescued from the blaze at the burning building in Fresno, about 25 kilometers northeast of the capital. 2 people were killed after they jumped from a window, while 6 died when the interior of the office collapsed in the blaze. Regional Governor Andrei Vorobiev confirmed that a 34-year-old man had been taken to the hospital in a serious condition, while 2 firefighters were also being treated for injuries sustained in the blaze. Local emergency services say the man was the only person rescued from the blaze. Emergency ministry officials say over 100 specialists and 2 helicopters were working to fight the fire. It is not immediately clear what caused the fire, but one eyewitness say it broke out on the 6th floor before spreading. And it's now time for us to check out what tomorrow's weather will look like. Just before we go, let's take another look at our top stories. President Bola Tinubu has applauded efforts of security forces in the fight against the insurgency in northwest Nigeria. A federal high court in Lagos has discharged and acquitted a former Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Adeyemi Ikuforiji, of 54 counts of money laundering charges. The Lagos State government has revealed that cases of cholera in the state have reduced drastically. Commissioner for Health, Akin Abayomi, emphasized this, the need for prompt treatment as soon as symptoms emerge. And on the foreign scene, we brought you a report that 8 people have died in a large office building fire near Moscow. Only 1 person was rescued from the blaze. And for more news, please connect with Lagos Television on these social media platforms. And please consider this thought. Liberty and equality will be best attained when all persons share in the government to the utmost. And that's the way it is on the news tonight. In case of emergencies, please call 7670112. They are toll-free lines. Thank you for watching. I am Adetola Kayode, and on behalf of the crew, wish that you have a wonderful night rest. God bless Nigeria.